Greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. And I'll let everybody know I'm feeling really good. So, we're going to hang out for a few minutes, let some people join us. Again, like I said, hope everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Feel free to say hi and chat while we wait. Good afternoon, brother. Scott, please feel free to share this. We're going to go over some numberings. As I've stated before, I've been doing some research on reconciling the master trust account. If you've been watching on the Zoom links I've been posting, doing it regularly on Mondays and Thursdays. I might even pick it up and start doing it 5 nights a week. I don't know yet. There's a lot of information there and I'm getting behind. But in the meantime, I wanted to put this video out because, like I stress in that, everything is about numbering. We need to realize the name is there for a reason, but the number has an importance as well. And like I said, in the postal terms guide, it defines key. And it starts out to press numbered keys or other identifiers. And so on this hunt for all these numbers, I'm finding out that 9-digit number is a nexus. So we're going to look at something. Go through and say hi to everybody. Zeus, Jethro, Pete, Wayne, Bryant. Greetings, everybody. Davey. Hope everybody's having a good day, like I said. We're going to, let me get this set up here. I can't, because I'm using the phone to do this video, I can't put the links in the chat section at the moment. But when I get the video posted, I'll go ahead and grab those links and post them in the comments. So in the meantime, let's get started. Because we all know that at the age of 18, we fill out a SS5 application for a Social Security number. But even prior to that, mom goes to the hospital under her own Social Security number to establish the account with a birth certificate. And everything's done through routing numbers. Everything routes through a number. And here it tells us that routing number for Social Security Credit Union is a 9-digit bank code. So we know inherently in, on, and for their record, this is banks/america.com, and they are telling us that the Social Security Credit Union is a 9-digit bank code. As we see down when we get down here, we'll see that the Social Security Administration also has a 9-digit code used for various bank transactions such as direct deposits, electronic payments. This is what we're looking at, is electronic payments of some sort. The actual electronic transfers. They say payments here. I refer to it as electronic transfers of the credit. Wire transfers, which I think is what would be more appropriate. Possibly, I'm not sure. Right now everything's electronic, and by wire it could be limited to the electronic, so it might be specifically the wire transfers that we're looking at. Anyway, it goes on further to say check ordering and many more. Routing numbers are also known as bank routing numbers. So even if it's a Social Security Administration routing number, it's still considered a bank routing number because it's in concern of all of the accounting, which is the financial debit and credit accounting. Whether it includes numerical identifiers or data elements such as weight, height, location, phone number, contact, things like that. Those are all valuable identifiers, and so they put a value to them. Now, it says routing numbers are also known as bank routing numbers, routing transit numbers, ABA numbers, ACH routing numbers. This is the one we're going to concentrate on because I already know through the UPU they have something called a freedom of transit through the mails. It does not get entered into the mails as a commercial item. It transits through the mail system because of agreements held in peace. Routing numbers may differ depending on where your account was initially opened and the type of transaction made. Okay, and because the account is initially opened, period, it doesn't matter where. The fact is it was located where we were born. That's the initiating event, where we are born. Everything extends from that. So it doesn't matter so much where it was created, but where you were born, because it was created at the same time for the same event for different reasons. And the type of transaction made. This is what we're doing wrong when we file that SS5. We're committing to the wrong type of transactions from there on forth. So we're going to work on correcting that. The Social Security Credit Union is a NCUA insured credit union. NCUA is a National Credit Union Association. So, by the Social Security Administration, using its own Social Security Credit Union as a separate association, that there too is a bifurcation of data elements of a national priority concern to a commercial purpose. This is why it's so important that they use the census, because it starts it out as a commercial purpose and hides the actual military purpose. State Credit Union. So the Social Security Credit Union in each state is insured through the State Credit Union, and the NCUA ID is a 5-digit number associating another 5-digit number for that specific contract within the state to acquisition through contract terms and conditions and statutes and federal executive orders all the commercial items they want. Commercial items are including the numbers and the other data elements entered in the keys that are pressed. If you don't give them those data elements, they can't press those keys. The EIN, Employer Identification Number, also called IRS Tax ID for Social Security Credit Union, is 630-332-689. So you people that get the EIN, you should be associating it with this to carry it back to your regular obligor number, which is the number on the front of the card without dashes. And we're going to see that here. The routing number for Social Security is, so we see the credit union routing number is this number, whereas the routing number for the Social Security itself is this. When we go down here, it says Social Security Administration routing number is this, which is different than both of these. This is the employee side. This would be more described as the internal side for the employees operating as employers, and this would be the external side on the customs side for international relations. And then this number here for Social Security is actually the Social Security Credit Union the same as this one here. So the routing transactions go through the clearing office at the post office to the security office to be securitized, if they can be securitized. Security Boulevard in Baltimore. You guys know what Boulevard means? Anybody? Greetings, Don, Blake Anderson, Michael, Bryant, Terry, glad you joined us, Billy Collins, Frank, Ignacio, good to see you again. We're running across each other a lot today, must be a sign. Well, let's look at Boulevard real quick, because this is pretty much, well, let's finish this up first, because this is all that's left. Just a bunch of comments and stuff. What it's going to tell us here is your records are here. First name, last name, state. Is that like a first, middle, and last? So you see your legal entity customer is attached to the state. The beneficial owner of the legal entity customer is in operation with the state, coordination with the state. That's this one here, the credit union. And then it goes through this one here, the clearance office for the states, so it can go to the, or excuse me, yeah, it goes through this one to clear the clearance. This is the clearance office to make sure it's verifiable by the state. And then it's going to go here for customs. Going to give you these links down below. And like I said, I'll post this link when I get done with the video and everything. Then down below it says ABA routing number. Routing numbers are also referred to as check routing numbers. ABA numbers, routing transit numbers. Remember, it didn't say check routing number up here, did it? It's just said as known as bank routing numbers, routing transit numbers, ABA routing numbers, ACH routing numbers. So now they include check routing numbers. ABA routing number is a 9-digit identification number assigned to financial institutions by the American Bankers Association. So if they are the ones that are assigning it to a bankers association or to a financial institution, they're the ones that assigned it both to the Social Security Administration and the Social Security Credit Union. Does that mean the Social Security Association is now under the authority of the American Banking Association? Most certainly. Recognize this, people. This number identifies the financial institution upon which a payment is drawn. Very important term here. We have drawing rights, special drawing rights. Routing, we'll discuss that later. Routing numbers may differ depending on where your account was opened and the type of transaction made. If you're making an internal transaction, it will be done on the internal basis. You will be taxed, you will be fined, you will be penalized, you will be court-martialed, you will be jailed, you will be imprisoned, you will be put under mentos compos, a competency test, everything. Each routing number is unique to a particular bank. Large banks may have more than one routing number for different states. ACH routing number stands for Automated Clearinghouse. This routing number is used for electronic financial transactions. We're moving into the electronic age, people. We need to make it automated. ACH helps to improve payment processing efficiency and accuracy and reduce expenses. Banks offer ACH services for businesses who want to collect funds and make payments electronically in batches through the national ACH network. We can take advantage of the same thing through the same right by asserting that we are not buying and selling, and all electronic transactions are not to be securitized. They're to be cleared through customs only. Anything that is being attempted to be securitized cannot pass customs. It is not allowed. We are not securitizing anything. It is already secured. Everything we need is already secure. ACH routing number is a 9-digit number. The first 4 digits identify the Federal Reserve District where the bank is located. The next 4 numbers identify the specific bank. The last number is called a check digit, which is a confirmation number. ACH routing numbers are used for direct deposit of payroll, dividends, and annuities, monthly payments, and collections. Federal and state payments, etc. Fedwire routing number is a Fedwire transfer service that is the fastest method for transferring funds between business account and other bank accounts. If you're not a bank and don't have a bank account, how are you going to do this? You maintain an account that does your banking, a superior account that does all transactions, all transitions. Remember I spoke earlier about the routing transit number. Anything that is going to be transitioned from one form to another has to go through the clearing office. Then, if it clears, then we can do banking. If it doesn't clear, then it's not a banking operation. The next 4 numbers identify the specific bank. The last 4 ACH routing numbers are used for direct deposit of payroll, dividends. Anything that is already done, already committed, and is already produced under that, we can correct that record. And those are the funds that are going to be credits on a new account. Once we settle all accounts and close the account under the Social Security Credit Union and open a new primary account so it's no longer going through this and this. It's none of their business anymore. That number is hidden. It must go through the superior number first. If it goes to that number, then it will be issued to the Social Security Credit Union for banking operations from there. So let's talk about Boulevard. You guys know what a Boulevard is? 6401 Security Boulevard. Etymology, Boulevard. It's a noun that describes, and this is 1769, folks. (1769), before the Declaration of Independence and the new charter and all that. The broad street or promenade planted with rows of trees. Does that sound like plantation? Does that sound like a slave plantation? And the boulevard that you ride down as you enter upon that slave plantation. Now watch what happens later on. We're going to read down here in 1929. But for now, it says broad street or promenade planted with rows of tree, French boulevard, originally top surface of a military rampart from 15th century. So they took a military rampart and changed it to a broad street promenaded planted with rows of tree for their slave plantations, from a garbled attempt to adopt Middle Dutch bulwark, wall of a fortification. Bulwark, as in the legal Lawyers Guild bulwark, mentioned in 1950 81st Congress, first session, where they had determined that by definition all members of the Foreign Bar Association are communists, which at the time lacked a W in its alphabet. The notion is of a promenade laid out atop demolished city walls. You remember Jerusalem, where they tore down the houses within Jerusalem to build upon the walls of Jerusalem a fortress. This is where the peaceful people of Jerusalem became a war, and they tore down their own homes to build a fortress for war because of their own fears. So this isn't something that's only happening in the now time. It's happened before, people. History repeats itself. A way which would be much wider than urban streets, originally in English with conscious echoes of Paris, in use, or in U.S. since 1929, used of a multi-lane, limited access urban highway. So now they've gone from a plantation to a city of an urban highway, from city to city, instead of just the access to the plantation, or the bulwark around the city of a fortress. Early French attempts to digest the Dutch word also included boulevard, boularkie, and boulevark. Early French attempts to digest the Dutch. So now we see a Dutch root from a French, which is where we got a garbled attempt from the English. See how they just sling the term around? So let's talk about freedom of transit. It says freedom of transit. It says application of freedom of transit. And most people would think, well, that means I have to apply. Well, that's true. But in acceding to a union, what you do is you take their application, you line item veto through it, and you overwrite the corrections, and then hand it back to them. Guess what? Now you just hand them you've just handed them an application, because now they need to apply what you have overwritten to their original offer in honor, because you have improved the instrument that they handed to you. How can they deny an improvement? They must now approve the improvement upon which you reproved and corrected. And then they have a notice of failure to give freedom of transit. This is UPU, guys, Universal Postal Conventions and Regulations in 2018. Most current one there is. Article 4 of that UPU convention, freedom of transit. The principle of the freedom of transit is set forth in Article 1 of the Constitution. It shall carry with it the obligation for each member country to ensure that its designated operators forward always by the quickest routing numbers, and the most secure means. So it goes by the route first and then secured. Okay? Means which they use for their own items, proving that they are accepting a foreign item. Closed mails and a Decover letter post items which are passed to them by another designated operator. The principle shall also apply to missent items and misrouted mails. So even if they misroute them themselves, the freedom of transit applies. Member countries which do not participate in the exchange of postal items containing infectious substances or radioactive substances shall have the option of not admitting these items in transit a Decover through their territory. So they must first determine that they contain infectious substances or radioactive substances before they can deny it. It's a first. They can't deny it for anything else. They have to prove that it's infectious or radioactive. that the same shall also apply to printed papers, periodicals, magazines, small packets, and M-bags, the content of which does not satisfy the legal requirements governing the conditions of their publication or circulation in the country crossed. So, let's talk about Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer. See, Mark Twain printed his books freely, and he sold them internationally freely. And what happened was, people in Canada, when he released his articles here in America, having written them in Europe, the people in Canada somehow had first priority access to the article. And what they did was they were able to, because of that, sell the items for a greater price and make more money than Samuel Clemens did on his own writings. So he went to the American Congress and he filed a claim to correct it. Because antecedent to that claim, there were no copyright laws protecting an artist who wrote claims and couldn't even get them out before somebody else could get their black market hands on them. And the consequence of it is that there is now a 50-year after the life of the artist copyright agreement, so that it extends to his heirs. This way, it shows a priority element in time that extends first and foremost from his creativity, his artwork, before it can cross any other jurisdiction. And thereby, if Canada sits there and tries to decide to make some kind of law that supersedes the international copyright patent laws and take advantage of somebody that doesn't have a copyright, but inherently, because he can prove that he is the originator of the content, the international copyright operates by law, then it proves that that country doesn't have the initial right to take from the mouths of future generations. It's a very important concept he brought forth in regards to what his work is truly valued at, because he was one of the ones that understood the ISO codes, and it didn't matter what country he sold them in. The basis was that he was the originator of the work, and nobody had a right to make money on it unless he said so. Pure and simple. Let alone somebody making more money on it than himself. That's just egregious. So, the next part says, freedom of transit for parcels shall be guaranteed throughout the territory of the Union. Parcels. Parcels being very particular to land. When we think about parcels, you got to get the parcel number so you can find the lot and size and all that when we're buying real estate. I don't know why I do that. It's still going to give me the same damn thing. But a portion or part of something. When they recognize a portion or part of something, they have to recognize its origin. So we have to issue it from a country of origin and send it to a foreign destination. A sense preserved in the verb and in the phrase parcel of land. From a country of origin, a parcel of land, to another parcel of land in a foreign destination. That is a parcel going through the mails in freedom of transit and not entering the commercial process of being mailed because it's an offer or an advertisement. From Old French parcel, small piece, particle, parcel, and directly from medieval Latin parcella, from Vulgar Latin particella, extended from via a diminutive suffix, but not necessarily implying smallness, of Latin particula, a small part, little bit. And what it's talking about there is not necessarily implying smallness, but when we talk about country of origin, then we know it's a man that sent a parcel, and he is part of something greater. Not necessarily implying smallness. So he is part of something greater. Itself a diminutive of pars, genitive partus, a part, piece, fraction, purse, or pure, to grant, a lot. Lots, blocks, parcels. Meaning a package. When do you get up? What year do you get up and pack your bags and leave home? And go out on your sojourn? A quantity of goods in a package, which is from the late 14th century sense of an amount or quantity. What's the value of anything? The expression part and parcel, early 15th century, also preserves the older sense. Both words mean the same. The multiplicity is for emphasis. In some old and technical sense, parcel is used as an adjective or adverb meaning in part, partially, to some degree. Parcel post, as a service to deliver packages. Later, a branch of the postal service is by 1790. Talking a lot about ages, aren't we? Right after the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and all that. Wait a minute, we need a banking system. Postage stamps were the first form of money here in America. To divide into small portions, early 15th century parceling without, from parcel, noun, related, parceled, parceled, parceling, parceling. So when it comes to forms, we're going to get this application for postage paid service, or an application for renewal, cancellation, postage paid service, mailing, billing, and receipt. We're going to check these forms out so we can rectify the language when we construct our own terms and conditions in an irrevocable letter of credit, establishing our freedom of transit through franking privilege of posting our own fellatly, where is it? Commemorative postmark service. I know a lot of you guys don't understand this very last part, but hopefully by the time I'm doing those Zooms reconciling the master trust account, you'll have a better comprehension of it. It tells us in the Bible that we are gods and we create everything. It's just a matter of knowing how it operates so we can create our own entity in that system that will vitiate all of the attacks against our person. And that's all we're doing, correcting the record so it can't be stained anymore and operating under a new name, new account, and all that. So like I said, I'll post these links when I get done with the video here. In the meantime, thank you everybody for joining me. I'll post my PayPal link for those that want to share some love, along with my other forum links. Be sure to check them out. Share the information, share the videos, share this video, and of course, know that if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless. Love you. And peace out. He feeds us in all ways. And I love you, so have a good day.